from 1975, directed by Umberto Lenzi, who honestly, I don't know if he can do anything wrong at the moment, especially in Eurocrime. Syndicate Sadists is an absolute fantastic Eurocrime film. You get Thomas Millian, who I'm a huge fan of, appearing as Rambo. He's the main character, a biker that rides into town, almost like Yojimbo, and discovers that he gets caught in the middle of two rival gangs and a kidnapping, as well as being somewhat deputised by a local police force of sorts, police for hire. I'm not too sure, and to be honest, I don't really care, because this movie just delivered a large portion of awesomeness in the form of Millian, who just owns the screen, and there are many wonderful sequences that just make this an absolute essential watch. I love the fact that Rambo comes into this movie like a breath of fresh air on his motorbike and goes through the motions of possibly joining this police force. In fact, going there with his friend, spending time with his buddy, but outdoing everybody on the force, just to let us know how much of a badass this Rambo really is. Now, this movie was out a few years before the Stallone version, so what I initially thought was a bit of a cop-out is perfectly fine now, all of a sudden. And this movie kind of hits a familiar beats at the start of it. It's got a driving narrative that is familiar. You can tell what's going to happen. His friend that Rambo meets up with, and we get to meet his son and his family, and Rambo's kind of like a surrogate member of the family as well. You know what's going to happen. He's going to get killed by one of the gangs in this kidnapping case, and Rambo's going to have to get revenge. Of course, there's a bit of a history between Rambo and some of the criminal gangs as well. There is some fantastic motorbike chases and fist fights and shootouts and moments of tension and suspense, and it's one of those kind of rip-roaring Eurocrime action movies that has some wonderful photography, amazing characters that you just love, and a sense of justice for the main character. He's out for revenge, but we know he's a good guy. He's a guy that's also looking to take care of his friend's family as well. Now that he's gone, he's becoming that surrogate father and husband almost that the family need in their moment of, well, need. It's terrifically shot. I like the way that Lenzi sets up some of his set pieces. There's a wonderful bar fight. Now it's just there as a superfluous action set piece. It's not really there for any purpose other than to show again how badass Rambo is. But it's nice to see Millian being that badass with this fight that goes on, taking no crap, pulling no punches, and walking out that scene just looking even cooler is just awesome in my eyes. Millian is just a wonderful performer, and I think that Lenzi uses him expertly well here. I think there's also a masterful touch in the way that they balance the gangs. You know, there's lots of characters going on. There's a few different antagonists and people involved, whether it be the police force, one of the gangs or the other gangs, the kidnapped child, the various different locations that they're put into. There is a lot of characters going on, but Lenzi handles it well by focusing on a few of each members and allowing us to build up the kind of tale of that character and watch them get the demise that they ultimately need. Again, like I said, some fantastic set pieces in this. One of my favourite ones is a scene later on where Rambo has saved the kid but decides to get him to help get revenge on a couple of the people who are chasing after them, and it's a kind of nighttime shootout with the aid of flares that turns into an elongated cat and mouse patience game, as nobody's afraid or nobody wants to make the first move or the last move, so it be, because we're down to just a couple of people left in this shootout and it becomes a waiting game, which I really appreciated. Now, Lenzi does create some wonderful car chases, like I said, bike chases. They're just terrifically well shot. They look incredibly fun. The moment that Millian comes bursting out the back of a truck on his bike is just, perfect. And it's so many scenes like that as well. Syndicate Sadists is just wonderful. And I've seen a lot of Eurocrime recently, and I've got to say I enjoyed this one. It was right up there at the top with some of the best that I've seen, and it's something I will go back to again. It's something I'm going to rave about, something I'm going to urge you guys to check out if you haven't seen. Syndicate Sadists is a must watch, and I want to know your opinion of it if you've seen it. Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.